Alright, Aidan, are you ready for your first question?
Yep.
Considering the political climate in America at the moment and the attack on undocumented students, how do you plan to protect AB Samahan's undocumented population, as well as stand in solidarity with other political organizations on campus and beyond?
Okay. So I've definitely thought about this a lot. I've really like thought. I've been really reading to ICE and all everything about undocumented immigrants over the past few months. I even got in contact with Anakbaya and over this semester. So I learned a lot more about it through that too. And so yeah, I've definitely thought about how to help undocumented immigrants. And of course, there's definitely ways we can do it, but definitely gonna provide someone as a safe space itself for undocumented immigrants. That means informing everyone about what can happen, how what should happen to the undocumented immigrants. It also includes making sure that undocumented immigrants know their rights, and they go through the proper trainings to know what to do if they're ever confronted with maybe an ICE agent. And so yeah, and obviously the situation is always changing. You never know who's gonna come on campus, and so I just think it's always important for everyone on board to just be ready for changing situations, as I mentioned in my speech, because you don't know what they're gonna be doing to us, our community of undocumented workers and students. Obviously, SDSU and I guess colleges across America are considered sensitive areas, and so they shouldn't be places of concerns. But unfortunately, they will be, and we don't know what they can do to us. And so it's just good to be prepared for anything and just be properly educated on what can happen.
Okay. Are you ready for your next question?
Yeah.
In your position as Political Affairs Chair, you co-chair ABLE, the Address Bonifacio Leadership Emergence Auxiliary, alongside the Community Chair. How do you plan to integrate politics and activism in ABLE, especially for those interested in positions such as Sports and Recreation, Director of Web Development, Historian, and positions that don't particularly have interest in politics or activism?
Can you repeat the question?
Of course. The whole thing or just the question?
Just the question part, yeah.
How do you plan to integrate politics and activism in ABLE, especially for those interested in positions such as Sports and Rec, Director of Web Development, Historian, and positions that don't particularly have interest in politics or activism?
Okay. Well, I think regardless of the positions in Samahan, I think everyone does need to have a baseline, understanding of, I guess the political standings of Samahan. Samahan is an inherently political organization, as I mentioned in my speech as well. And so, regardless of position, I think everyone on board should be understanding and be conscious of that. Yeah, definitely yeah. So that means everyone on board, all leaders should be able to, offer themselves as possible. How do I put it? They should be able to be politically conscious, regardless of what they do for their own positions. Because I think collectively that's important. That I think that's a duty for all board members through the Constitutional Clause is to be conscious about that. And so definitely want to talk about that during ABLE meetings. Like I said, I want to definitely go in depth about the Constitutional Clause, and just politics in general regarding injustices towards Filipinos and stuff about why political culture is so important to us. And so maybe even if politics isn't inherently connected to the positions, I believe I also just do believe that everything is inherently connected to politics in a way, and so that should be considered all throughout board, and especially through this organization that is inherently political.
Are you ready for your last question?
Yes.
If there ever comes a time where your personal beliefs conflict with those of the politics and beliefs of the Filipino community, how will you differentiate the two, and will you stay neutral?
Okay, so I've definitely thought about this one a lot. Obviously, I have my own opinions about things, but I understand that this is a huge community. People have very different beliefs. I understand that not everyone's gonna agree with what I believe, and so through my idea of being informative, like as main priority as political chair. I think being informative also contributes to neutrality and to like just being able to like how do I put it appeal to everyone in terms of like getting the proper information across, because regardless of beliefs, what the stuff that is factually stuff that is like factual and like is really going on is important to understand. And so people can take that information however they want, but I think it's important just to at least get that information across and so people understand it, and then people can form their opinions from there. And maybe I'll disagree with it, but I think disagreements are natural, and it can be discussed among us, but that's natural, and I think that comes with being a political organization.